Greetings and welcome everyone to my first impressions of Syberia, a point-and-click adventure game from, what, like over a decade ago or something like that. So yes, I am a little late to this party, I apologize, but this game is currently on sale on Steam right now for I think 75% off. It's like $2.50 or something ridiculously cheap like that. So if this game at all appeals to you, then pick it up right now. It's got like another 20 hours on the sale right now, so act quickly. So let me just load up the game. So it's a point-and-click adventure game, and you are in this little area. You play as Kate Walker. Kate Walker is trying to get a deal struck with Universal Toys Company or something like that. So what we have to do is we have to go find this lady and then have her sign a contract. Then unfortunately it turns out that she died, and the only way to get that contract signed is by finding her brother. And the difficult part about that is that her brother was originally dead, or at least they pretended like he was dead, so now we don't know where her brother has gone off to, except, well, we know that he's gone somewhere relating to Syberia. That's really all we know. Aside from that, then we're shit out of luck. So now we're on a journey of trying to find out what Syberia, where Syberia is, and, you know, all that good stuff. So, graphically, this game holds up surprisingly well for a game that's over a decade old. Now, you can't change the resolution at all, so you're stuck at, I think, 800 by 600, but it's still, like, really pretty, and I think a big part of that is the fact that it's got pre-rendered backgrounds, so while you can't, like, change anything, change any of like the camera angles manually, it does still look really pretty, and it does really hold up quite well, surprisingly so. So what you have to do in this game is basically just go around the whole little village of sorts, and then solve puzzles, and then find out more information about the town, and then get the document signed, and you'll essentially win. Now, there is a sequel, and I believe there's also going to be a Syberia 3 coming out sometime soon, or maybe it's getting kickstarted or something like that, but so there's a big story being placed here, and there's going to be lots of very interesting little things, so that's all really cool. Now, as far as the game mechanics goes, basically all it is just a regular point-and-click adventure game. You point, you click, and you adventure. It's not very complex, but it can be quite tricky with some of the puzzles, and that's one of my main problems with this game, is that it's a lot like other adventure games in that it has tons of multi-room puzzles, and I just cannot stand multi-room puzzles, because making a puzzle in one single confined room by itself is difficult enough. Trying to tell the player to go from one area, walk out, go across like 2 fields, and then go up into this specific area, then use one specific item on that one specific object, it's like, how are they supposed to know? Like, you can't really tell them without, like, you can't really indicate that's what they're supposed to do without just outright telling them the answer to the puzzle. So it's really difficult to have that sort of like, that balance between letting the player figure it out themselves and just outright telling them. So we have to just explore this little area, and now there's a little thing here that we can open up, but, you know, like, this is actually a good example of one of the smaller, more basic puzzles. So we can't open this because it's locked, so we can see here that this needs a key, so we need to go look for a key. Now, they've done a pretty good job of keeping it in just one room, so this is actually fairly simple to figure out. You just, oh, you can interact with this, well, look at that, a key. Don't ask me why they would place a key underneath that little thingamajig, that little cross thing, whatever, but they did it, so we can just put that key in there. We can watch a nice little animation play out, which is just gorgeous, really. So now we can open up all these drawers and pick up the little things inside of it. So it's fairly simple stuff. Now, also, here's another part of the small puzzle thing. Like, normally we can't interact with the bit on the right here. See, it's like, this is jammed. But because there's nothing in here, that tells us, hey, there's nothing in here. But wait, what's that? What's this over here? Maybe we can interact with this. Oh, there we go. See, it's not very obvious, but if you play constantly and you like constantly come back here and you're like, oh, what am I supposed to be doing? Well, then it'll eventually click with you. So there we go. Now we've picked up all the little papers from this drawer. Now we can leave, and that's probably the best, most efficient puzzle in this game so far anyway. So it's a small little puzzle in one little confined room, and it's simple and easy to do it. It's great. I really don't like it when it does these multi-room puzzles, which is, funnily enough, that's what part of that puzzle was for. See, we had to go into that room to pick something up so that we can solve another puzzle in a different room. So, also this bit up here is actually another part of a multi-room puzzle. You see here, there's lots of these little cogs here, right? So we need to place them down, and the only way that we can pick them up, or the only way that we can actually place them is if we were to have these cogs, and we can only get them if we had found them in a different section of the game. So it's another multi-room puzzle, although this can't really be classified as a puzzle, I'd say, or at least not the actual putting in the cogs thing, because you can't actually fail it or can't even put them in incorrectly, because Kate Walker, the protagonist, will be like, nope, that's not going in there, nope, that's not going in there. She just will not accept the fact that you want to put a cog in somewhere. Like, she just will not allow it. So you can only put the cogs in the correct fashion, and then it will work. Simple as that. So gotta wait for it to set up, and then we can go in the elevator. This elevator is surprisingly weird. Now, if you look at what's going on this elevator, we've got a door on the front. There's no way for it to get out of the back, and there's no way for it to get to the sides, because we saw the inside the elevator. There was no door in the side, and there was no door on the other side that we can see, and there's no door on the back. So if she gets out, she would fall flat on her face and fall onto the ground. So how exactly did she make it in here? They never explain that. It's kind of weird. But, oh, look at that. Cute little bird. So now we can solve this little puzzle here, which is essentially just us finding this, using one of our little punch cards and putting it into this automaton. An automaton is essentially just a scraphead or a robot, and it's not very impressive. It's 2002 though. This game is set in 2002, so it's okay. I'll accept it. So the automatons are basically their workers, and they're very big things in this game. So yeah, I honestly don't understand it. It seems like they're just sort of there for the sake of being there, but whatever. Gives it a little flavor.
I no longer need these punch cards.
Alright, now she's gotten rid of them, so that is useful for limiting your inventory and making sure that you don't use stuff on too many objects. Like, you can't, like, you do end up with quite a big inventory, and most of the time the way you solve puzzles isn't by you going Sherlock Holmes and figuring it out. No, it's just pointing and clicking everything on the screen randomly. So it's like, oh, I have this, can I do that? And it's like, no, you can't. Then you just try it again with everything, and that's how you solve puzzles in point-and-click adventure games. It's brilliant. So now we can just head over to where we saw this little thing open up, and now we did see a nice little cutscene there, which is really pretty. The cutscenes in this game are really nice, and they do hold up really well. A lot of this game just graphically holds up really well. It's quite surprising. There we go, in we go. So, it's a fairly simple stuff. Now we have entered in this crypt, and it's going to be quite fun because, well, we're going to go mess with someone's grave. You know how they say rest in peace? Well, Kate Walker doesn't believe in that. Rest in, help me out. I'm going to just completely destroy your peace. I'm going to defile your grave. You will be helping me. I don't even care what you're trying to do, Hans Vorarlberg person. Alright, so yeah, there are some technical glitches because it's a 2002 game and it's running on a Windows 7 OS, so yeah, there's a few glitches, but it's not too bad. You can't alt-tab with this game. If you do alt-tab, then just basically everything, all the graphics just get completely wrecked. Everything will either go completely black, except for Kate Walker for some reason, or they will just have this weird, like, sort of triangular cone thing on there. I would try and show you it, but I'm afraid that I'll destroy the entire internet. So, not doing that. So now that we've picked up that little thing, we can now head off into the little part where we first started. So let's just go straight back. Alright, now, you can, for the most part, explore, like, the entire area, but sometimes you're just sort of, like, randomly limited to not going anywhere with no real explanation. Like, see here, there's a road going to the right, but you're not able to go to the right. I'm clicking, but nothing's allowing me to continue down that pathway, so it's a bit odd that they would, like, sort of just randomly disable you, stop you from going that way. And what's weird is that sometimes when she's trying to go through, when Kate Walker's trying to go through a door, she'll be like, I don't need to go down there, not yet, or whatever. And so it's like, she could just say that about, like, going somewhere else. She could say, like, I don't need to go that way, but they don't. This is just feels like at first it was really weird. I thought, like, I had broken the game somehow, and that, like, she just wasn't moving and I was doing something wrong, but no, it's just, she can't go down there. It's just simple as that. So now here's another little, I suppose, puzzle. We just need to put this telescopic key on this little guy, and then that'll go down there. Don't really see the point of this when a lock would do just as fine, so it seems like they're just putting automatons there for the sake of having automatons. But there we go. So that has been the opening little section puzzle things, and now we are in this brand new world full of wonder and mystery and factory. So enough of that. So now, when you go into the options, there's a few of them. There's a lack of options. That's one of my main problems with this game. The anti-aliasing doesn't really seem to do anything. That's a big problem this game has. You'll, like, put anti-aliasing on, and then yet there'll still be tons of aliasing, so it's a bit weird. And the level of detail, it's like high, low, medium, or high, medium, low, and that's it. So yeah, there's also, like I said, no options for changing the resolution, so you're stuck in 800 by 600, 4 by 3, so there's no options for playing in 4000 resolution or anything like that, which is a shame, but you know, it works well enough. So if you can put up with black bars, then it shouldn't be a problem. Aside from that, though, it's fine. It does have a volume slider and all that, which I love to see in games. I just love volume sliders. So, yeah, this has been Syberia. Thank you for sticking around, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. You can pick this game up on Steam right now for $2.50 at 75% off because it's on sale, which isn't too bad at all. So, GG.